work that she's doing to prepare more of our young people, and especially our young women, for the jobs of tomorrow is inspiring. I'm glad to hear that when Celeste visited the United States as part of the Young Leaders Initiative, she got to go to her first National Basketball Association game in Denver. I don't think Ginobili was playing, but I can confirm that he is not only a nice guy, but also one of the best players in the world and a proud Argentinian, so he is a great champion. My Chicago Bulls have been losing, and the Spurs have been winning, so I'm not that happy about that. I want to thank everybody at Usina del Arte for hosting us today, and I want you to know that the reason I came here is in part because I've wanted to come to Buenos Aires ever since I was a young person like you. I very much enjoyed Argentinian literature, authors like Borges and Cortázar, and so I would read them and became fascinated with Buenos Aires. I said at my press conference today, the only problem was when I was reading, people were always drinking mate, and I didn't know what that was. So I just had my first mate today. It was good. It was good. And my team, my staff, thought I was very clear-headed at the press conference, and they said it must be the mate. So I'm going to try to take some back. But I also wanted to bring my daughters here so they could see the beauty and the vibrancy of this city. They've already met one famous Argentinian, His Holiness Pope Francis. Now they want to meet Messi, but I could not arrange that. They will not get a chance to experience the Palermo at night. They'll have to come back on their own to do that, not with their father. And we're looking forward to visiting Bariloche tomorrow. But also, whenever I travel, I always want to spend time with young people. Your generation has grown up in times of breathtaking change. In your lives, you've seen massive global declines in poverty and disease, so there's a lot of good news out there, but you've seen incredible strides for women's rights and LGBT rights. You've mastered technology. The world is connected now in ways that we couldn't imagine even 10, 20 years ago. But you've also seen unthinkable violence from terrorists who try to tear us apart, whether it's at an airport in Brussels, as we just saw, or a Jewish center in Buenos Aires. And all of us, Americans and Argentinians alike, stand up against the scourge of terrorism. And we stand with the people of Belgium during this time of enormous sorrow. And yet, even though you've come of an age where change is happening so rapidly, your generation, I think, believes deeply that you can change this world for the better. You're more interested in hard work, the hard work of waging peace, than the easy impulse towards conflict. You're more interested in the hard work of building prosperity through entrepreneurship instead of cronyism and corruption. You're more eager for the progress that comes not from holding down people who are not like you, but lifting everybody up so that everybody has an opportunity, regardless of what they look like or how they pray or who they love. And that makes me hopeful. I'm always inspired by young people. So I'm going to be speaking very briefly because I want to mostly hear from you. I am here because these past several years mark a new era of U.S. engagement in the region, in the Americas. We're not just nations, but we're also neighbors. Millions of people in the United States are bound to the Americas through ties of commerce and family. Thousands of Argentinians study in the United States every year. Hundreds of U.S. companies employ thousands of people here in Argentina. And we're committed to expanding those ties of leadership and scholarship and trade. And I'm here in Argentina because I'm impressed with many of the reforms that have been initiated by President Macri in recent weeks. His effort to reconnect Argentina to the world community and to lay the groundwork for a more sustainable and inclusive economy. He inherited a tough economic situation, just as I did when I first came into office. He's working to make it better. And in fact, to show their confidence in this new direction, U.S. companies are announcing tens of millions of dollars in new investment in Argentina, and I'm launching a new dialogue to strengthen business ties between our countries. So the United States welcomes Argentina's leadership role, not just in the region, but in the world, because to solve today's challenges, we have to be partners. Somos un equipo. Equipo. I got to practice my Spanish. But it's critical that we work together. And that's one of the reasons why the U.S. has started a new chapter with our relationship with Cuba. I was honored to be the first U.S. president to visit Cuba in almost 90 years. And we still have differences with the Cuban government. But what I said to President Castro is we can't be imprisoned by the past. When something doesn't work for 50 years, we have to try something new. And I believe that engagement and dialogue is more powerful than isolation, and that the changes that we're making can improve the lives of the Cuban people. And all of the people of the Americas deserve the right to speak and gather freely and access the world's information and participate in forums like this. And so we hope that that will happen in Cuba. We hope that'll happen everywhere in the world. But ultimately, it's going to be up to the Cuban people, just like it's up to sovereign peoples everywhere to be able to find their own voice and create democracy and freedom. We can be partners in that, and we can help. And this new beginning is going to be good, I think, for the entire hemisphere. Part of my goal is to move past the old debates that have defined this region, move forward in a way that benefits your generation. And unlike any other time in history, the technology at your disposal means that you don't have to settle for the world as it is. You can create the world as you want it to be. You already have the freedom to build the world in powerful and disruptive ways. That's why we're going to spend a lot of time in the coming months in building more vibrant connections between young people. 5 years ago, I started an initiative called 100,000 Strong in the Americas. And by the end of this decade, we want 100,000 U.S. students studying in the Americas, and we want 100,000 students from the Americas studying in the United States. And today I'm proud to announce that effort is growing here in Argentina. Partners like ENET and CAF Development Bank in Latin America have committed to increase student exchanges between our technical colleges, and I want to thank President Macri for committing to 1,000 new exchanges. And finally, last year I launched what we call the Young Leaders of the America Initiative. And we're seeking out the most innovative young entrepreneurs and civil society leaders and giving them a chance to earn the training and the connections and the capital that you need to make a difference. So this year I'll welcome the first full class of fellows to Washington. We're going to help them expand their commercial and social ventures by embedding them in U.S. businesses and incubators and nonprofits and universities. We're going to give U.S. participants the chance to continue their collaboration with you back in your home countries. And that's how we want to empower all young people. That's how we want to empower young women like Celeste. It's how we create a future where climate researchers in the Amazon collaborate with scientists in Alaska, where an idea in Buenos Aires can develop with an incubator in Boston. That's how we can make sure that we create a future where any young person can choose a path that opens his or her opportunities beyond their neighborhood into the wider world. It's where a young person can learn skills in the state of West Virginia, the United States, and put them to work right here in Argentina. So Gino Tubero, who's here today, where's Gino? Somewhere. There you go. There we go. All right. Gino. So Gino's a great example. He was tinkering with 3D printing as a teenager when, through the U.S. Embassy, he participated in the National Youth Science Camp in West Virginia. Then he learned the latest 3D printing technology. When he came home to Argentina, he co-founded a company that used these new skills. He received a request from a woman looking for a prosthetic hand for her young son, Felipe. And typically those hands can cost tens of thousands of American dollars. Gino printed a new hand for Felipe for far less. Just a few weeks later, for the first time, Felipe could ride a bike, go fishing, do many of the things that normal children do. And since then, more than 1,000 Argentinians have signed up for Gino's help. So that's what's possible when we work together. That's what's possible when we invest in young people like all of you. And as a result, many only hear about Muslims and Islam from the news after an act of terrorism or in distorted media portrayals in TV or film, all of which gives this hugely distorted impression.